Good afternoon. Hello. My name is Dimitris Karystinos, and I'm leading the data analytics and AI practice within Unisystems. For those who don't know, maybe Unisystems, maybe it's the oldest IT company in Greece and one of the top systems integrators, supporting large transformation projects across Greece and in Europe. So within the next 20 minutes, the goal is to change a little bit the narrative and share some stories from the field, things that we hear from our peers and our customers in our efforts to implement the next generation of systems, of course, infused by AI. So still, after almost 2.5 years, when talking about AI in the market, things look like this picture. Noisy, without real context, and with too much information. And people are really much hyped, and lots of words coming out: GenAI, prompt engineering, RAG architectures, edge AI, whatever you can imagine, creating, a pressure of where do I start? How do I navigate this complex environment? And how should I approach it in order to be successful? And then 2025, we're entering the year of agentic AI. One more term, okay, that came forward in order to bring possibly even more pressure to things or more ideas. And what we realized when we start talking about agentic AI, things had more context around them. People seem to understand more of what is happening around that. And the simple reason is agentic AI speaks with terms that are reasonable: orchestration and automation, problems that many of us face for many years, and now agentic AI acts as a catalyst to speed them up. And suddenly, things become more clear. What are the challenges that we need to face and solve in order to ensure that we have a good path in front of us and succeed? Infrastructure, first of all. Where am I going to run all these nice things around AI, and especially the next generation of agents? Do I have the correct infrastructure, either on-premise or cloud? This is very much significant. And it's not an easy exercise and not a cheap exercise. What is happening with my data? How am I going to feed those AI systems in order to ensure that I get the maximum out of it? Garbage in, garbage out is more relevant than ever. So solving the ever-growing problems around data is a cornerstone to succeed. What is happening with my security? Am I in a position to ensure that I have the correct perimeter and know what is happening in order not to lose my data or leak my data? And from then on, what is happening with my developers and my personnel in general? Are they upskilled? Do they have the knowledge? Do they have all the tools they need to ensure that they are in a position to build fast, be efficient, and achieve their goals? If we see a little bit what is happening in the market and the metrics, if we don't solve challenges like this, then we're in a position that everybody is talking about AI, everybody is testing solutions, but only a minority of projects make it to production. Lots of them stay forever in the POC or the MVP stage, simply because somebody has not foreseen correctly the infrastructure needed, so they need additional investments. Somebody identified that the data are still siloed or in a format that can be engaged, or our personnel is lacking the expertise or the experience that we need. And this 30% or fewer generative AI projects going to production, I think we've heard it all day long in our conversations. So how do we start and how we can navigate this environment and make the best possible out of it? For us in Unisystems, usually it's at a bare minimum a 5-step process. Okay? So number one, and we've heard it also in the previous presentation, it's upskilling. We have to take care of our personnel. Those are the people that are going to take us to the next stage. So keep excelling them, give them skills, educate them, give them the tools to move forward. Number two, we're not doing AI for the sake of AI. It should be aligned to the strategic goals of the organization. What do we want to achieve by implementing an AI system? It is key. If we don't align with what top management is aiming for our organization, we will end up with a few nice data scientists in a corner doing something magical that nobody really relates to. This leads us to the next one, which are the KPIs. We need to be sure that we can measure the outcome. The moment we invest money to achieve something, we want it to be measurable in order to prove that what we did makes sense and gives value to the organization. The next one is we have to accept that it's a repeatable, iterative process. What is different now with the AI projects is that they have this concept of iteration. We might fail and fail again and fail again. We have to accept that it's part of the process and we have to be vigilant. And of course, collaboration. Make sure that the teams internally in the organization collaborate. Make sure that you collaborate with subject matter experts from the market. We don't want people to be siloed. And above all, just remember that at the end of the day, it seems that the AI projects are business-driven projects. So business people are the ones who are driving it forward. For the first time, maybe first time, technologies of this discussion are there simply to enable and create those systems that the business people require. So, upskilling, make sure that you create the culture of curiosity and empower your people to have everything they need. Ensure that your strategy is aligned and decide which projects you are going to allocate resources and efforts to make sure that are meaningful for the organization. When you go to the execution side, ensure you have the correct KPIs and you are able to measure what you are doing. Repeat as many times as possible, and then we have the saying, fail many times and fail fast until you learn and move forward with success. And of course, behind that repeat statement, there is also a culture of change that we need to ingest in our organizations. Extremely crucial to be able to accept the change that these kind of projects bring forward. And of course, collaboration. Don't work in silos. Unless you unlock the silos in the organizations and business people come closer to technologies and vice versa, there will be many, many different problems that we need to overcome and move forward. We've heard great examples of AI ambassadors and champions within the companies trying to connect the dots. It's a reality. This is also what we do within Unisystems as we try to transform our own internal processes. So, one of the key things that you need as you move forward, except from the theoretical part, are platforms that are going to give you the models that you want, and easy access to various different models, a platform that can allow you to work and build your agents, your applications, and whatever else you might want. And this should be an integrated platform allowing you holistically from one point to work on your data, your infrastructure, your models, and so on and so forth. And of course, next-gen infrastructure with TPUs, GPUs, and whatever else you might need. And of course, it should be enterprise-ready. So one of the things that we see as a system integrator right now out there is that there are very many narratives from hyperscalers and other kind of companies providing all these in a nutshell. So you can go to Microsoft, you can go to Google, to AWS, to Oracle, and you will find their narrative around that. At the end of the day, this is something that we definitely need. This is something that we have to select according to our organizational needs and how we approach technology within our systems. An example of that, and I'm going to show you how Microsoft is approaching this through Microsoft Azure, is simple like that, where you have a holistic approach when it comes to your data. So from one point, manage all your data, stepping, of course, in a next generation hardware infrastructure, called me Azure. And then you do have a holistic set of applications that will allow you to build containerized apps. You can build any kind of service that you want. And of course, on top of that, stepping on Azure AI Foundry, start building the next generation agents or infuse AI to the applications that you would like to do. And of course, you have the ability to connect very well-known applications like your Visual Studio, your GitHub, your Copilots, in order to take advantage, tightly integrated into your dataset and applications. If we see the impact of Microsoft right now in the market, of course, we can see that it empowers way too many innovators out there, giving them at least a 20% boost in productivity in order to build new systems. Of course, we're talking about a scalable platform that gives us at least anything between 30 and 50% of time to market, and of course, as we expected, okay, secure, governed, ready-made application for enterprise innovation. Between us, being a system integrator, this is only one of the platforms that we work on. We have the equivalent things, as I said previously, both from Google, both from AWS, Oracle. So as a system integrator, we're obliged to have our eyes and ears open to suffice the needs of our customer. So how do we realize these benefits and what we see in the market? The vast majority of companies, at least up until now, they were focusing on employee productivity. How can I create intelligent systems in order to allow my employees as a unit to become more productive? Call me Copilot or whatever intelligent agent will allow me to do my daily work faster, better, and be more productive. Okay? The expectation there is to unlock a 10 to 30% productivity. Those 20 minutes of extra time that I can save. Now, what I'm doing with those 20 minutes, it's another story. Maybe coffee, or maybe indeed be more productive. There is a second set of customers, maybe a little bit more mature or approaching from a different perspective, but they're going within their existing processes. Okay, we have processes that they work, we have results, but there are lots and lots of processes that have a lot of manual effort. Can I go in and start automating? So the expectation there is to unlock a 30 to 50% in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. This is why I said previously that suddenly agentic AI seems more reasonable, because it's talking about orchestration and automation. Agents getting into specific places, taking over labor tasks from people. If we can achieve that, then indeed we have the gains. And this is not today's news. The automation story is at least 10, 15 years back. And then we have a third set of companies, maybe even more mature or even more risk appetite. The risk appetite is higher, where they try to change the way they are doing business, change their business model. And this is where they try to unlock new possibilities for new revenue streams and become more successful and leading in what they do. So that's the main story, and I would like to close this presentation with some practical examples to show you how Unisystems is dealing with those stories and give you some stories from the field of projects running currently from our teams. Number one, it has to do with citizens. How we can help cities understand what citizens like or don't like within their cities, and subsequently improve. Very, very simple project. Can I collect the data from my points of interest within my municipality, analyze them at a bare minimum for sentiment? Are they happy or not? And then put some clever agents that either citizens can talk to the municipality or infuse agents so that the mayor and the whole office can talk with the data without complex technicalities and start understanding what is happening out there. The bottom line here is to allow the mayor and the city take decisions for the benefit of their citizens. Number two, unlocking ancient wisdom. How can I take ancient scripts, either religious ones or historical ones, analyze them, and connect also with archaeologists that bring new scripts in front of us from their archaeological research. And suddenly, I have a huge amount of digitalized scripts, and then I can start asking questions. The goal here is to build an agentic system that researchers will have the ability to start discussing with those scripts and start connecting the dots. When something happened for the first time, I have a piece of text that I found, for instance, in Egypt. Does it relate with something we already know from the ancient scripts already analyzed, or is it something new? So this seems to be one of the key elements that the researchers in the University of Athens are trying to move forward. Number three, supporting public policy, and especially when it comes to payments. Okay? Nowadays, we have large transformation projects in the Greek public sector. They need at some point of time when a project is completed and according to the deliverables we have to pay whoever is implementing that. Nowadays, it seems that there are at least 3 or 4 systems for some people to decide if a project is completed, if a deliverable is there, so as to approve the payment. It takes a lot of time and a lot of people to connect the dots in between 3 or 4 systems. The idea here is to start putting specific agents per system that know very well how to talk to the system and understand the data in it, orchestrate them with one agent on top of that, and suddenly in natural language start discussing with 3 systems and get all the information about pending invoices, deliverables, project contracts, and so on and so forth. Number 4, changing and supporting the restructure in the general justice environment. Way too many documents, and I mean way too many documents. How can I get all these documents, digitalize them, understand the context of this document and save them securely and classify them in categories that makes absolute sense, and from then on create graphs that connect those documents to allow what? The judges and the lawyers to be able to manage those documents, ask information, and identify things within those huge amount of documents. Just to give you some metrics, in order for one document to get in manually within the system, it took 20 minutes of time for one person. Utilizing the AI situation where it receives a document in a digital format, extracts information, classifies it, and makes it ready for future enhancement, we're going to milliseconds. And then we're talking about 500,000 documents a year, which is absolutely unimaginable productivity. Last parts, what we do internally in Unisystems to transform ourselves. At the end of the day, we're also a company of 1,500 people. We also need AI as a daily helper. So one system we built is how we respond to RFPs and how we utilize this vast majority of documents we have within our library. So we have the ability to talk to those documents and speed up the technical proposals we need to submit for each and every new RFP we participate. Totally transformable, and we need to speed up. Number 2, human resources bot. Okay, how are we gonna offload HR from commodity questions? Microsoft Copilot is the answer for us in this. Spread out within our environment, every employee has the ability to ask questions. The goal is to reduce from 40 calls a day, for instance, of commodity questions to just 10, which are significant, and the HR can indeed make that. Quality assurance bot. Whoever reads those lengthy documents about our processes? Almost nobody. We saw that also, and we tried to increase the interaction with those documents and at least make people aware that when you need something with regards to processes and how you, for instance, you go in and you apply for a business trip, or you apply to change your laptop, or you request something or approve something. Instead of trying to find documents in lengthy folder structures, just ask our QA bot. And it's tightly interconnected with the HR bot. Those 2 bots are talking. Something might start from an HR requirement and end up in a process requirement. So, for us, until 2027, we believe that it's a new era is coming, where people and machines are gonna work integrated. It's not gonna be that the machines are gonna take over our time and our jobs, but we're gonna need them in order to be faster, more productive, give them the labor, and allow us to focus on high intellect items. Unisystems is also transforming. We have already started infusing AI in all parts of the company, and especially in our software development teams, where they use AI in all the development lifecycle, from business analysis to implementation, to testing, to debugging, to documentation. The goal is to be more productive, faster, and more efficient. And if we can achieve that, yes, we can pass this benefit to our customers, whatever that might mean. So, we see the future differently. We are indeed in the era of agentic AI, and the projects prove that. So, we invite you to join us in this journey and together discuss about the next projects that are coming forward. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.